All right, it is now 21 minutes until 8 o'clock, and we have a program that's brought your way by Always a Jacket. Princella Smith is here for that. Princella, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Well, good morning, Wynne, Arkansas, and thank you, KWYN, for letting us come on today and making the space. I know you guys are highly requested, especially during hot times of the year, including election cycles. I was listening on the way in. I love how really nothing has changed on this station since I used to come. They're laughing in the background. Y'all can't see them.
She's right.
Yeah, nothing has changed on this station. I love it though. That's what I love about small town America is everything changes, but everything stays the same. And like I can still go to my old neighborhood. I can still come in here. I remember coming in here for we had Key Club because Key Club was connected to Kiwanis. And they let us have a kind of a high school version of it. And I used to come in here a lot for that. And then I'd hear my name on this station for sports. You know, people know I'm a big sports fan. My dad was a star football player, and I was pretty decent at basketball. That's what ended up paying for my education and being in that good old Wynne Yellow Jacket sports system. But yeah, I'm just pleasantly... it's pleasantly, I guess, surprised is the word that really nothing has changed. Y'all still got the easy listening in the morning. And I do like that. So I want to keep in tune with easy listening this morning, right? I know that people are just listening on their way to work, listening for news and updates. And by the way, I love that you still do the birthdays. Now, I want to say... I'm 40. I just turned 41, but I was well into my 30s, and my birthday was still being announced on this station. So I like that a lot. So that kind of goes in tune with the name of this organization, Always a Jacket. Once you're a yellow jacket, you're really always a yellow jacket. It really never leaves you. So when the tornado happened last year. I was one of the first people, as many others were, to jump in and see where we could help. Like, you know, what can we do? I've had a very blessed life. I've been able to do a lot of different things and meet a lot of different people and live in different countries and be on first name basis with world leaders. So I thought, you know, surely there's something I could do, a number I can call, some kind of way to try to raise funds or do whatever is needed to get help to my little hometown. And so I jumped in feet first, and it wasn't long before I was on the phone with Mayor Hobbs, the sitting mayor of Wynne, who will be voted out of office on November 5th. But it wasn't long before I was able to jump on a phone with her and to get involved with the long-term recovery committee. And though living in Nashville, I drove back and forth once a week to be in those meetings. I either did that or would be on the Zoom call to be in the meeting, or would do rides in between times, coming back to Wynne, back and forth to Wynne, helping different people in different ways through my organization, We Are Neighbors. And I just was disappointed to see how many barriers I faced in doing that. I did what I could. Even set up a meeting called, meeting with the mayor, where she could come in and meet with people in wards 3 and 4. And the reason why we selected wards 3 and 4 is because, as most people know, that area of the town was hit the hardest, and those people had a lot of questions. So just kind of a long track record here of attempting to work with this mayor, and just found as I continue to go, and then given my history in politics, my experience on Capitol Hill, my experience in local politics, my experience in statewide politics, and my experience in the governmental, non-governmental, church world and nonprofit world, I became disappointed in finding that one of the biggest barriers to recovery in this town was the sitting mayor. And so, like I said, in keeping with easy listening this morning, this isn't a bash fest. This isn't a some type of attempt to to come at a person personally, but when you decide that you want to get into public office, that's exactly what it is. It is public, and so you are held accountable to the public. You are held accountable to the people who voted for you and who elected you, and even the people who didn't vote for you. That's your job. We say that about the presidency. You know, whoever wins the office of president, your job is to serve the people. It is a job of selflessness. It is a job of service. It's public service. My degree is literally, it's political science. It's public service. That's what the job is. It isn't about ruling, it is about governing. Like, this country was literally founded on that principle, right? And so I was just disappointed to see that this sitting mayor wasn't interested in that, and it wouldn't matter if her name was Jennifer Hobbs or Kermit the Frog or Daffy Duck. I'm speaking to the position today, and I want people to know that, because look, when Arkansans, we are nice people. This is the city with the smile. We don't like ugly, and and I like that because God doesn't like ugly. I was raised in a pastor's home, and I learned that as soon as I could understand what words mean, that God does not like ugly. So I'm not here to be ugly today, but I am here to spread the truth. And again, this truth would be about anyone who was holding this position. I don't have anything personal against Ms. Hobbs, contrary to that. I don't know, what's another adjective, the ridiculous mail piece she sent out about us lying and the lies she has told about me and my family. I have plenty of truth that I could actually say personally about Jennifer Hobbs, and I have chosen not to play that card, because I believe if we just keep this about the issues and about the poor job she has done, I believe that the voters of Wynne are smart enough to make their own decisions without me taking a personal swipe. So I'm not going to do that. Furthermore, I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I'm not just a believer in him, I'm a follower of him. So we don't do that. We don't bash people personally. That's not gonna, I don't feel that benefits anyone, and I certainly know that whatever words come out of your mouth, you're gonna have to answer to God for them. So just want to encourage everybody during this political season to be truthful in the things that you say. So Princella Smith is here to tell the truth. And before I really get into some of that, I want to remind everybody that today is the first day of early voting. So this is necessary. I know, I hear that phrase, I hate politics. I don't want to get into politics. And listen, I understand. I am a unique person, right? I watch the news all the time. I have worked in the news. I've worked in politics. Most people do not do this, right? Most people go to work, they come home, they want something to eat, and they're going to turn on like their favorite TV show, right? They really don't want to hear the yammer. But my response to that is, first of all, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You probably have a lot more peace in your life. But secondly, I do think, though, that it's important to keep up with what's going on, right? It's important to just be informed, right? You don't have to be a news junkie like me in order to be informed, right? So I think you need to know, and as many of you do, right? If you're listening to KWYN, you're probably a little bit more informed voter. But tell your friends, look, today is the first day of early voting. You can get to the polls today all throughout Cross County, Arkansas, not just in Wynne, because I know y'all got listeners out, in Parkin, in Cherry Valley. You can vote. If you need a ride to the polls, my organization, Always a Jacket, is giving rides to the polls, okay? We're going to be doing that today especially, but all week, early voting leading up to that time. If you need a ride, 870-260-7905. That's the number to call, 870-260-7905. You can call or text and say, hey, I need a ride. Send us your address. We will come and get you. This is important. I know y'all are tired of hearing that too, right? This is the most important election of our lifetime. Well, I'll say this. In Wynne, Arkansas, I actually think it is. I actually think it is. You may be tired of the two people running for president yammering in your ear, but I will say in Wynne, Arkansas, yes, this is possibly the most important, if not one of the most important elections in your lifetime. As you're well aware, Wynne, Arkansas is in the Delta region of the United States of America. We are often overlooked. Some people call East Arkansas the stepchild of the state. I kind of don't like that name, but the point is, we often have to fight harder, right, for our funding. We have to fight harder for the things that'll help us continue to grow as a city. And so you have to have an active mayor, right? Like, you got to have, the mayor is the executive of your city. You got to have someone who wakes up every day with the intent of making things better, right? That this person has to wake up every day and go, okay, what is it that I need to do? And after the tornado, there was a big opportunity for this. There was a huge opportunity for this. There was a lot of money available. There were a lot of funds available. And I just don't understand why this mayor didn't take advantage of those. Millions of dollars were left on the table. Now, we did receive millions of dollars, and there's a lot of questions about where that money went, especially when we don't see more homes rebuilt. We don't see more housing opportunities for these people who have now been displaced from these FEMA trailers. We don't see taking advantage of opportunities to bring in adult recreation, adult dining. I would love for Wynne to have a couple of places where we could sit down with a knife and a fork and really, I know we have a couple of places like that, but just a little bit more diversity in that. Primarily, though, I'm looking at housing. I'm looking at that tragedy and the fact that there are people who have lived here for decades who are still displaced. That was my number one focus, and ultimately that's why I ended up truly butting heads with this mayor. And I butted heads because of representing people who needed this, right? So this isn't a personal vendetta. It's, hey, mayor, do you see this? Do you know what's going on? The second thing, I know the mayor has come on here and said that we made it up, but I just, with the lies, I don't understand. The $500,000 of insurance money that belongs to a city park that is located in Ward 4. Listen, I've told you I've been all around the world, so I've met literal billionaires, okay? I've seen a lot of money, but I can tell you something. I don't care if you're worth $3 billion or $300. $500,000 is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. I can tell you right now, whoever is listening to this radio, including somebody who might be a millionaire. I don't know that Wynne has any billionaires, but we got a few millionaires. And I can tell you right now, anybody listening to this station, if they were offered $500,000, would not decline that. That is a lot of cash. Okay, so getting $500,000 and not being able to explain to the city of Wynne where that went is a huge problem. And it has nothing to do, truthfully, with which ward it's in. Now, the mayor has no response, so she has decided to draw a line in the sand. She has no response. She can't run on a record, so she's come on this station, this beautiful, lovely station with these wonderful hosts who give you easy listening 5 days a week, and she just lied to you. And that's not easy listening. That is treasonous on the ground of KWYN, because that is not easy listening. And I got to tell y'all, because it's not easy listening, because I listened to it. And I had to turn the radio off. When she sat here and lied to you and told you that money, that she's given you about 4 different answers, I think the true one is, she tucked it away in the budget to do what she wanted to do with it because she has some pet projects. Now, she's given about 4 different answers. She said, one time she said it was going to a soccer field. Then I heard something about it going to a horse track. We got some of her rich friends like horses, and they ride horses and they compete, and so kind of heard that. Then I heard she put it in a CD to collect interest. So here's what I'll say. I don't know where it is. My dad sits on a lot of committees where they normally get the city budget and they get the spreadsheet. He doesn't know where it is. I've talked to a lot of people who are connected in town. They don't know where it is. But here's what I will say. Wynne, Arkansas, the fact that we do not know where $500,000 of city funds is a problem. Wherever it is, it didn't go to the park, which is that was the purpose for which it was allocated. Now, I'm going to break it down for you. It was $425,000 of just straight insurance, right? This park, this building, this gym got hit in the tornado, okay? So you get a straight up and down $425,000 check on that. Okay. Then there's this thing called FEMA that I know has become a hair controversial in the media, but guys, they're there for us. It's your taxpayer dollars going toward funding it, and it is because of situations like, natural disasters. And when you go to FEMA's website, it says that there are funds allocated in the wake of a natural disaster. There are funds allocated to replace things. And if you look in that list, one of the things in that list is parks. Why? Because a park is literally the epitome of what a city provides, right? It's a place where you can have gatherings, you can play outside, kids can roll around, run in the gym. At that particular park in Ward 4, there were weddings, there were family reunions. They give out turkeys every Thanksgiving there. During the pandemic, a lot of kids came and got meals that they would normally have received at school. They received it at that park. My dad, it's been now nearly 30 years, has run an organization called Boys to Men, Girls to Women, where he kept at-risk youth off the streets and ran the program out of there. Counseling, drug counseling, therapy, all kinds of things were done. Tutoring after school, and then, of course, structured recreational activities like basketball games. Okay, so this place was used a lot. And so inside that building it's a thing called contents. Contents means what? It's what's made up in the building. That all basically belonged to the organization that my dad founded and still runs, Boys to Men, Girls to Women, all lost in the tornado. So what this mayor does is she makes a claim on the contents of the building. I need y'all to listen to me. It's a FEMA claim for contents of the building, not a claim on the building itself. Now, y'all may ask why she did that. But let me get back to these contents. The contents of the building. She got a $77,000 check for that. Now, again, I told y'all I believe in telling the truth. If you do not believe me, text or call me at 870-260-7905 and I will send you a copy of proof that this woman got $77,000 from FEMA for the contents of this building that belong to a nonprofit in Wynne, Arkansas called Boys to Men, Girls to Women. Okay? Now, she got that 77 plus 425. This is why we keep saying $500,000. We keep saying 500,000. She says we embellished that number. Actually, we lowered it because 77 plus 425, I think, is 502. $502,000 that the people of Wynne don't know where it is. Now, I don't care if you live in Ward 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You know that $500,000 is a lot of money. And you know that it belongs to the city. And it belongs to the place for the purposes for which it was allocated. And I love the guys at Johnson's Diner because they said, you know what? I'm not sure $500,000 in 2024 could get up an entirely brand new building. But we do know that whatever those funds were allocated for should have been put right back where they were supposed to go. And then why didn't this mayor then just put in a claim with FEMA to help pay for the rest of it? Well, gentlemen, that's my question too. So coming on this station and saying, it's not enough to build it back. Again, lies, because you can actually build a gym for under that. I want everybody to know too, because some of you haven't been over there. It was just a gym. Right, it was just it was a concrete building with a basketball floor, a couple of bathrooms, and an office. Okay, so we're not talking about building the tech center. Okay, we're talking about a gym. Nonetheless, let's go with the mayor's lie that this is going to cost $1 million. If it's going to cost $1 million and you got $500,000, why did you not also make a FEMA claim on the building? See, y'all got to hear me on this. She did not make a FEMA claim on the bill. Why is that? Again, remember I said contents, so she robbed my dad's nonprofit of $77,000. Then she took $425,000 and did what she wanted to with it. But I'm back on, why did this mayor not make a claim on this building? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where, even though she has tried to make this a racial argument, it isn't. The people in wards 3 and 4 happen to be predominantly black, but this is not a racial argument. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an argument about community. And this is why they have a problem, because she did not make a claim on the building, folks, because she never intended to put it back. This is what's called intent in politics. She never intended to put it back. She did not want to put it back. She was always going to take advantage of this opportunity to put that money toward her pet projects. Now, see, if you are white, black, man, woman, rich, poor, middle class, that should bother you. That should bother you. You know why it should bother you? First of all, it wasn't just people in wards 3 and 4 who used that park. Secondly, today is Ward 4. Tomorrow is Ward 1 or 2 or 5. Because if you have a person in leadership whose mindset is, I'm just going to do what I want when I want, how do you know that that's not eventually going to come to a place where you live? Now, it may not be a park, folks, but it could be something else. What if it's something that you frequently use, or that your elderly parents frequently use, or that your children frequently use, and you have a person who does not believe that they are a mayor, they believe they are a ruler, and they decide, nope, I'm just not going to do it. And then you got a city council who just rubber stamps everything she does, except for Mr. Nelson. Shout out to Mr. Stevie Nelson. I appreciate you, my brother. It's hard to take a stand when everybody else is a ditto head. Now, I'm showing my age a little bit. The word ditto means repeat. Just kind of a rubber stamp. So shout out to you, Mr. Nelson, for that. At this time, based on that premise, I would like to roll our new ad. KWYN, you won the lottery to get the debut of our new ad. Roll it, please.
The mayor has tried to make this about race. It's not about race. It's about leadership. What happened to $500,000 of insurance money? The mayor has tried to make this about personal attacks. It's not about personal attacks. It's about personal responsibility, of which she has taken none. Excessive fees, defunding the animal shelter, and not taking a single grant for tornado home grant rebuilds? The truth of the matter is the only agent of division in this town has been the mayor, which is why over 1,200 people signed a petition for her removal in the first place. It's time for new leadership. It's time we had grown-ups in City Hall. We can't do that as long as this mayor is there. Vote for the removal of the mayor. Vote for the sake of Wynne, Arkansas. Vote for the removal of the mayor.
Paid for by Always a Jacket. All right, so there you heard it. There's the ad, and again, shout out to KWYN for giving us this platform. You know what? We realize more and more how important local radio is. Just today, people have really gone back to listening to local radio, but in small towns, they never stopped. They always listen to local radio. But I found this to be particularly important in Wynne because, unfortunately, the brick and mortar place for the newspaper got destroyed. Now I realize we have an online paper and I do read it, but you know, people in small towns love to have their paper in their hands, so kind of a tradition there. And it's, you know, I hate that it's not paper, but I do understand because I love the environment. I understand economically it was probably better to have it electronic. Nonetheless, that's the importance of local radio, because it's like having the news in your hand, except it's having it directly in your ear. So I heard a very famous radio host say this one time. He said, radio is the most intimate form of communication because it's right there in your ear. It's really something. So the people, you know, KWYN is a powerful, powerful source here. I only got a few minutes left, and I just want to remind everybody, if you need a ride to the polls, you can call or text Always a Jacket at 870-260-7905. Today is the first day of early voting. I will be leaving here and going to vote. I am very excited about this. I'm excited to vote in this election because it's important. Now, I only have a little bit of time left. Y'all heard me talk a lot about funds and money for housing and things like that. This is very important. And I want to remind everybody, this is not a personal attack. Princella Smith and the several volunteers who worked on behalf of this effort don't have time for personal attacks. We are much too busy. I understand that people have things go on in their personal lives, and I would hate for it to be me, so I don't have any interest in talking personally about Miss Hobbs. But I do want to bring this up. I do want to bring up one more thing. I've talked to a lot of business owners. Some of them are owners of food trucks. They were really upset, y'all. They're upset because they had like 3 fire extinguishers on their truck, and all of a sudden they are being given things under this mayor's administration through the fire department. Shout out to the fire department. This is not a snipe at them because we know this came from the mayor. But they had to get some excessive, expensive sprinkler systems just because this mayor, who thinks she would be a ruler, said so. This is part of the excessive fees that you guys have seen on our mail pieces that we've referenced. The excessive fees. People are tired of the excessive fees. You might remember all the citations people got for the cleanup after the tornado. You got bricks piled too high. You got debris piled too high. Well, ma'am, the insurance hasn't kicked in yet, and I've not been able to clean. But you want to charge me fees? Guys, listen, there's more. There's several reasons why we need new leadership moving forward. I'm at the close here to give me the wrap-up sign. 870-260-7905. If you need a ride to the polls, get to the polls today.
All right. The preceding program brought your way by Always a Jacket.